Hey, good morning, Advantage members. It's Tuesday, November 7th, 11:20 my time. I want to go through a quick market update. I've been traveling, so haven't been able to be at my desk and, provide y'all with that much insight, but most of my thought process has been dropped kind of, here where I talked about different areas of support that we should be looking forward to. And then, of course, in Advantage announcements, where I talked about one of the videos that I did 3 or 4 days back, as well as a long form thought process of where I believe the market structure currently lies, which is that I think the market is going through its larger process of consolidation. I talked about when we had entered this area right here on 25th or 26th of November, I mentioned to members that from here onward, right, we would expect BTC to chop around for a little bit, but then still, I think there's a high probability that we tag 38K at some point. Okay. Now that 38K could happen after BTC does a whole lot of chopping like this and maybe has one more sweep like this and then that, or it could look like as it's looking right now, which is slow, continuous grind up with a whole lot of baiting and flushing, and then maybe mid-November, end of November, we then tag 38K, right? So different ways of going about that. But the point is that as we look at the market right now, okay, we see that in terms of local, market structure and chop, this looks very deathly for anyone who wants to get involved, hoping for a breakout or a breakdown. Okay. If you are just, persistently holding spot, or you are not afraid of the daily or midweek chop up and down, no worries. You get to chill, right? You get to enjoy this market, as I have been, because I've not been really involved that much in the local up and down chop. Here and there, I take trades, but I try to get out anytime I can with a little bit of profit here and there, right? You can kind of see either it's profit or I try to lock in, very little or very small losses. Okay. I did that with, BTC long or the short side. I did that with Ethereum, long or the short side. I try to just get in and get out wherever I can take profit. That's what I like to do, right? And I believe fundamentally that the market structure right now for BTC and Solana is that they are still very uncertain and trying to figure out where to go next. I think BTC is probably going to chop around a little bit. If I were to say, if you look at a comparison, here's kind of what I see in gold and BTC, which I find kind of interesting. Okay, so here's gold, which if you look at the structure of gold right now, in my opinion, I think it looks quite similar to the structure of BTC. Okay. The only thing is that gold has cracked its local uptrending structure, which BTC is just now doing, right? Which then means that this little area low of the consolidation structure that gold had left behind, see right there, okay, gold has come back to, right? For BTC, I think that's somewhere probably like down here, I want to say, right? 33.5, 34K, something like that, pick a wide range, right? Like $1,000 range. I think if BTC drops, it'll drop in a big way into this support area. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm paying attention to right now for Bitcoin. Now, other aspects of the market, Solana. I think Solana looks locally like impressively good. I think it's maintaining structure over the weekly pivot. It has hammered into this 42 level, right? So it dropped all the way down to 38 and some change, went close to 42, took out those stops again, right? Down low of 37.9, all the way into a high of 42.5, all the way up here close to 43. Again, building a base right here, a rounded base, and now maybe pushing up higher from here. If it does do that, a breakout from here, in my opinion, pushes Solana back up to 44. Okay, I don't know if it's going to go all the way to like 47 or 50 or whatever, but I think it's possible that it gets up to 44. Okay. Now, again, I kind of say that with a grain of salt because of what I just showed you regarding gold and BTC. Now, BTC takes a big crack and it rolls over and shits the bed all the way down to 33K. And by the way, I want to show you real quick what's near 33K. Okay. I think you have to go down to a smaller time frame, which is an hourly. And on the hourly, you'll see on the 33K area, it's kind of this zone right here where prices had dug in deep, but also the stops below this low, which is 27th of October. If that stop gets taken, so meaning all these stops that are building up, right? Let me do this. So stops building up from here and here and these and these and these. Once those start to cascade on the way down, it's actually a very fast and rapid flush, right? Because everybody on the way up basically gets stopped on the way down. Okay, so that would effectively mean that, you know, that 33K area would be a very, very strong block of support. We could wick, by the way, all the way down to 32 and a half or maybe 32 and some change. You shouldn't be banking on that, but it's possible. Now, aside from that, we also have a pivot somewhere down here. This is a monthly pivot, new monthly pivot that came up for November, which is around 32.3 or 32.2, right? So maybe look out for that too on the way down, just in case we do have somewhat of an aggressive drop. Okay. I think the way the equity markets look right now is actually looking somewhat positive for BTC. I think what may happen here is, this is my general thought process. I think this gap that was left behind between this high of the wick and this low of this, you know, gap down candle, I think that's going to get filled. After that, I really don't know. I don't know if that means like market structure is filled back in. And, you know, from here, if we hold above this level, I think we can go up to 4,500. But if we start to roll over, I would expect this area to either hold as a base, or we may just nuke right through it and go all the way to 4,000 flat very rapidly. I honestly have no idea which one we're going to do. I got to say, this is probably one of the most confusing markets in the equity space to deal with. It's just kind of annoying. Like this candle right here is the epitome of what a bear market rally looks like on the way, you know, back up, but overall in a local downtrend, right? So this kind of candle scares me, to be completely honest. It reminds me, in fact, of this candle right here, where you had 2 or 3 weeks of, you know, very, very aggressive moves before just a big slam down back in May, June 2022. Okay. So I am a little bit concerned of what may occur around this area over the coming weeks, but I'm not banking on it. I'm not betting on the downside. I'm not trying to short the market. And in fact, right now, I'm actually just more so relaxing and waiting for, you know, a pullback to long. If I get an aggressive pullback, I'll probably long. I'm not going to get scared and just start shorting when it starts dropping. The only real positions I hold right now are just my spot positions, which have been doing relatively well. Send is slightly below my entry price. Unibot, I'm still up almost 2.5, 3x. If you want, we can do the quick glance of where we are, right? So first, I think Rollbit. I've talked about Rollbit before. I use it here and there, but I would be very, very cautious because it is basically like a casino. Try not to, you know, avoid the legal systems of your country. I don't know where you live or whatever, but, you know, follow the rule, follow the law. Okay. Now I use Rollbit predominantly because it's a pretty easy exchange to use, and I like it a lot. You know, I think it's a great exchange, and I like the Rollbit RLB coin because of its tokenomics, And because I do think that rollbit.com is extremely popular to use, and a lot of people find it very easy to hop on and trade and gamble or whatever the hell you want to do on it, right? Again, non-investment advice. Do not trade on it. If you do not know what you're doing, or if you're from one of the countries that they have, clearly like banned from using, do not try to get around that, because it could be a mess. So again, consult your financial advisor or your accountant or whoever you need to figure out if you should use exchanges like this, or your local, laws or rollbit policies, etc. Okay, so anyway, point is, just covering my ass legally, right? Because I don't want to tell anyone to use Rollbit, because I personally don't think anyone should really use it. It's very addicting. It's pretty much like a casino. But I like to use it simply because it's low fees and I can control myself, using the exchange. Okay. So anyway, I own RLB, the coin, and I've owned it from about 8 cents on average, like 8 to 7 cents. So my position update is right there, right? So currently I'm up 3x, right? A little bit more than 3x. So far so good, right? I think this coin is going to do incredibly well headed into the future, and I look forward to hanging on to this thing until at least $1. I really think this thing is going to get to $1, because at 668 million market cap, the amount of users, the activity, the Rollbit burn that they have. So remember, total circulating supply, they used to have 5 billion. They burned almost 2 billion of the coins by just pure burn, their automated mechanism burn, right? So I think it goes through a lot of, ups and downs, but I think ultimately I do think it'll go up. And I'm looking forward to holding it. That, and then of course Unibot I already talked about, right? I'm still kind of bullish on Unibot. I do think that there will be other competitors and stuff, but I like holding Unibot just because I think it's going to do well into the future. I think Telegram bots, trading bots, are here to stay, and I think Unibot is probably going to be one of the better ones of them. So we'll see how it does. Okay. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have. S&P 500, already talked about BTC, chop mode. Like I said, expect, a whole lot of messiness, choppiness here and there, but I'm still kind of unwavered in my conviction relatively, like still somewhere up here, 36.5, all the way up to 38K to 40K are, in my opinion, like possible prices. So we will see what happens. And then same thing with Solana. Like I think crack like 42 and some change, and I think 44 is next. You would have to really, really have, I don't know, some news or some massive buying activity to push through 44 up to 47, but it's possible. Solana is that kind of coin that can do that. Okay. So anyway, that's really about it. I'm going to sit tight and, see what kind of other trading opportunities we have. But right now I chill and sit in spot. I chill and wait in cash to buy some deep aggressive pullback opportunities. Other coins that I'm interested in, like I said, INJ, I really think INJ is shooting for 25. Just remember, I mentioned INJ to the community at the beginning of the year. I don't think it was like exactly at the beginning of January, but it was somewhere in the middle of January when it was like close to $1.60, $1.70, somewhere over here. And it is now up almost, over 10x. I mean, that's a phenomenal gain and a move so far. And I'm incredibly happy by at least like pointing this out to the community. Solana, I also talked about, when it was like literally $8.50, it is now about, good 5x or so. The other coin that I do think is doing relatively well with momentum is Link. I generally don't trade Link all that much, just because it's such a messy chart at times. But obviously this looks like for now a year-long accumulation with now pretty big breakout. But I will say one thing which may not be very popular. Look at Link in the weekly chart. Okay, we're now at a weekly critical resistance level. Yeah, maybe you have some juice to go a little bit higher, but I think we've come pretty damn high in terms of resistance. look at Ethereum, close to its weekly resistance level, right around $1,900. And now look at Solana, coming close to its multi-year resistance level, 2021 right there, 22 right there, and 23 right here, right? So we're pretty damn close to the resistance point. Maybe a little bit sweep higher, $50. Maybe that's it, And then of course, big dog, BTC. Depending on how you want to look at BTC, I do think that 38 to 48K is also possible, but I also see that on a weekly basis, like it looks pretty gassed. So maybe, maybe a couple more, moves up and down, a whole lot of chop, and maybe we have a pullback, right? So anyway, that's pretty much all I have, everybody, right? That's really my overall outlook on the market. If I have anything else to say, I'll put it in the channel. Okay. If not, you'll take care. Good luck, everybody. Cheers.